Everyone will welcome the idea that the ceasefire has been prolonged for a couple of days, but not the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, so much, because they've got a military job to do, and the longer the ceasefire lasts, the harder it might be for them to do it. And they've got a north-south issue to deal with. In the north, north of the Wadi Gaza, they've more or less got about 50% of the territory under their control, and they feel as if they're quite close to completing the job they want to do. They surrounded the hospitals where they felt that Hamas had lots of their facilities. They've then gone towards the refugee camps, particularly the Jabalia camp, which is the biggest, and they're working around that now. So they'll complete their job in the north, but at some point, of course, they've got to turn to the south of Wadi Gaza. And this is where their problems really start, because there are now 2 million people concentrated in the south. They've been moved down from the north to the south. And the density of people there is about 9,000 per square kilometre, and that is 40% more than in Greater London, in the south. Now, the Israeli Defence Force have said they want everybody to go towards Al-Muazi, which is this tiny enclave along the coast, about 14 square kilometres, because the IDF want to concentrate on Khan Yunis and the Rafah area, which are the two big urban areas in southern Gaza. The heads of the United Nations agencies said they won't cooperate with that. They say it's impractical, it's wrong, and we won't help you do it. So these 2 million people are more or less staying where they are. And as and when the Israeli Defence Forces want to get onto southern Gaza, they won't be able to just move in with 3 or 4 armoured divisions the way they did in the north. It's going to have to be somehow much more selective. And the reason that this is a problem for them, amongst others, is because, meanwhile, in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, there's a considerable governmental hiatus. Nothing is coming out of the Israeli government in terms of a future plan. And that's partly because the Israeli government consists of a war cabinet, a security cabinet and a general cabinet. Netanyahu makes a certain number of statements about killing Hamas, of seeing Hamas off completely. But he has within his cabinet Benny Gantz, he has Gadi Eisenkot, and both Benny Gantz and Gadi Eisenkot were both in the cabinet, in the war cabinet, because they wanted a plan, because they joined it, because there would be a plan. But he's also got Ben-Gvir, who, in a sense, is the ultimate right-winger who doesn't want any deal to be done anyway with anything like Hamas. All military operations ultimately have to be based on a political plan, a political design. And so far, after 7 weeks of war, the IDF hasn't got one. They're just flying blind.